Hello and welcome to 7 Steps to Creating the Greatest Version of You. Wow, we've got quite a few people online today. Hello, lovely to see you today. We've got Jordana, we've got Simone, we've got Kerry, we've got myself. Oh, my mum's online, fantastic. Kim, Tendai, Sharon, the King, that's Dean, Curtis, Elise and Jan. Hello, lovely to see you. Could you just type in the box, just introduce yourself briefly and one thing that you would like to get out of this webinar today? Hello, if you are online, could you just type your name in and just give us a hello? We'll be starting in just a few minutes. Excellent, amazing. Okay, that's taken a while. Okay, hi, I'm Jan. I'm looking to focus on my future. Fantastic. Hello, Sharon. You can't see me. Would you like to see me? Who'd like to see me? Okay, here we go. Hello. Hi. Okay, so we're just going to have a few minutes saying hello. Just introduce yourself. I'm Daniela Bleckner, and thank you for joining me today on this fantastic evening on Monday the 4th. Please just write down one thing in the box, one thing that you would like to get out of this webinar today, because this webinar is tailored specifically for you. I'm here to add value, and anything that I can do. Excellent, staying focused and organised. Okay, we've got the King again. Hello. Amazing, fantastic. Okay, so one thing you would like to get out of this session would be absolutely amazing. Wherever you are, I just want you to take a minute. That's 60 seconds. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. We'll be together for the next 1.5 hours. I'll be taking you through the 7 steps to creating the greatest version of you, which is a workshop that I hold on monthly. I've got an additional date this month. So Saturday the 16th of January and Saturday the 30th of January. This is a taster session for today. I hope you have your mini workbooks that I sent out to you earlier this week. As you've been signing up, I've been sending them out. If you don't, not to worry, because all the exercises will be on the PowerPoint for you to fill in. So I'm just going to give you a few minutes just to run and get a drink of water or a pen if you don't have one, and just settle yourselves and just really, really focus. This is 2016. This is your year. It is going to be, no, not going to be, it's your year. So one thing you'd like to achieve from this webinar. Awesome. Inspiration to be the best that we can be. Well, Sharon, you are definitely in the right place. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually share my screen. So I'm going to say bye-bye for now. And we'll be going on to the PowerPoint. Okay, I won't be able to see all your messages while the PowerPoint is on, but there will be a chance about 10 minutes at the end where we can have a question and answer. I can answer any questions, we can chat, we can talk to each other, we can exchange details, and it'll be a fantastic forum. There will be a replay that we'll be sending out to you that will be live for 48 hours. So anything we do you might miss in this webinar, you can pick up. I always think it's best. I listen to motivational talks, I read books, I don't just listen and watch them once, I read them many, many times, because each time I watch or I read something, there's always something new that I spot. Hello, Kerry. Hello. Okay. Okay, I'm hoping you can see the PowerPoint. Fantastic. Okay, what I want you to do is wherever you are, even if you're on public transport by yourself, it's not a problem. I want you to say, I am tuned into 7 steps to creating the greatest version of you. That's I am tuned into 7 steps to creating the greatest version of you. Okay, I've just been told that you can't see the PowerPoint. So if you just please bear with me while I try and share my screen. While we're doing that, I just want you to, again, think about one more thing that you would like to achieve from this session. And if you could bear with me while I try and fix this technical difficulty, that would be amazing. If anyone's got any jokes they can write, that'd be fantastic. I'm always looking for new jokes. Okay. Can't see PowerPoint. Oh, you can. Oh, okay. I think there's a delay here, so sometimes. Oh dear. Okay, this is the first time this has happened. We will get through this. Okay, so it was there and now it's gone. Thank you. Okay, what I'm learning here is sometimes things don't go our way, but if we have patience, this will resolve itself. Okay, I'm starting again. Okay, I'm asking the king now, if you can please message me and let me know if you can see the PowerPoint coming up. Okay, I am just going to start. I think there's a bit of a delay on the PowerPoint, so hopefully you can see it now. I'll tell you what's up there. At the moment, there is a screen, a slide. It says my story. There's an image of me, and next to me is a heart with it's slightly broken down the middle, and it has a plaster next to it. Okay, so about me, I am, and I'm going to tell you straight, I'll put my hand up, I am an ex, or I was an ex self-confessed Mr. Wrong magnet. Doesn't sound good. This is the truth. The deeper reason, I looked at myself, and I'm a natural healer, I'm a natural nurturer, as are many of us women. Our first instinct is to look after, to heal, to help, to assist, to guide. From a young age, I was attracted to people who needed help and assistance. I attracted people who needed to heal from circumstances that life had thrown them. I was the kind of kid who would be saving the hobbling woodlice or saving the pigeon that the cat had caught in the garden. As I got older, I attracted wounded men, and I needed guidance, who needed guidance and assistance. I spent a great deal of my dating life trying to coach men to be the greatest version of themselves, only to be left high and dry after the wounds had healed or seemingly healed. Can anyone relate to that? That's men and women. I know we have a few men online today, so if you can relate to that, just type yes in the box. I don't want to feel alone, but if you haven't, that's absolutely fine. But what I didn't realise was that when we keep on attracting the same sort of man, the same sort of circumstance, or the same sort of situation, we need to really start exploring within. Often, or most of the time, in fact, all the time, that when we're attracting the same sort of circumstance into our life, then it is a reflection of something that resides within. One of my favorite quotes is from Einstein. He said, "Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results." I found this really interesting, and I decided to examine me. I decided to examine, question, and challenge limiting belief systems that I had about love, relationships, and most importantly, myself. As we grow up, we were taught how to love this, how to love things, how to love people, but there isn't actually a guide or a handbook or anything that instills within us that at first we must love ourselves. So I forgot how valuable I was. I forgot my own value and worth. I forgot my own needs, wants, and desires as I placed all of my worth and value in them. I learned that we should not define ourselves by how others treat us, and that we define and determine our own value, our own worth, and that we do not need to look outside of ourselves for approval or permission, and that we are not defined by others' opinions of us. Another one of my favorite quotes is, "What others think about me is none of my business." I realized that if I wanted to attract positive things into my life, that which is in alignment with what I deserve, I must first work on being the greatest version of me. I thought the first step is to realize that we are great already. If you've watched the promotional video that's on the webinar page, registration page, you'll see that I talk about everything that we need already is within us. We have the power that we need. We are amazing already. What we must remember is that we are perfectly and wonderfully made, and we are works in progress. We also must realize that love is loving an imperfect person perfectly, and that love starts not outside of ourselves, but with us. That means embracing all of our flaws, all of our imperfections. I learned to believe all of the negative belief systems that I had been conditioned to believe about myself were just that, belief systems. So I learned to unlearn these and start focusing on becoming the greatest version of me. What I want you to do now, while I try and get this PowerPoint up, is to really think about what love means to you. So what does love mean to you? What's your definition of love? Okay, lots of people are saying yes. Does that mean that you can see the PowerPoint? Hoping so. Okay, people are saying yes because they can relate to what I've said. Fantastic, amazing. Okay, still can't see the PowerPoint. If there's anyone online who could do webinar training, please say yes, that's me. That'd be fantastic. I will contact you immediately. Identifying with attracting poor men. Okay, excellent. Not excellent that you can identify with attracting poor men, but excellent that you can relate to what I'm saying so far. Okay, I'm hoping that PowerPoint will come up at some point, but I will carry on. So from my experiences, I decided that I wasn't going to allow these experiences to defeat me, that I was going to use this experience as an opportunity to learn. Not just to learn, but also to unite, inspire, and empower women, other women, but also men. So I came up with a book, an idea for a book, first of all. I've always wanted to be a writer, and the book's called Mr. Wrong. So Mr. Wrong is a collection of stories written by women who've experienced this infamous Mr. Wrong. It started off as a bit of a joke. There were different Mr. Wrong characters I came up with, and I set up a blog and I made an appeal. I asked the women all around the world to send in their stories, and I did not expect the response that I got. I was inundated with stories, and I thought, okay, I didn't want just to sort of throw out these stories about men. It certainly isn't a man-bashing book. The aim is to look at our experiences, and from our adversities we can gain opportunities. From our pain we can become powerful. So I wanted to fuse these stories together and look at how we can overcome. What can we learn about ourselves? What can we learn about our patterns? What can we learn about the vibration and the energy that we're putting out there? Because I believe everything in our life is a reflection of a choice that we've made, and if we don't like what we see or with the reflection, then we should make a different choice. I'm a really strong believer of that. So I wanted to create something that was empowering. There are also success stories and stories for men in there as well. And the men's section is absolutely fantastic, because that's what gave me the hugest insight into how a man thinks, into how you know, the way a woman feels and thinks about herself. Really does play a huge role. So this book was published in 2014. I initially started looking for agents. I started going the traditional publisher route, and I thought, okay, let me see if I can do it myself. And so I set up my own publishing company, and I published September the 20th, 2014. And the day I published, it got into 3 bestseller lists just overnight, literally. And I have recently been I was in the Voice paper in January, and then the Mail Online literally the 29th of December, which is absolutely fantastic. So my message is to you: if you have an idea, if you have a story, if you have something inside of you that you want to put out there to the world and use it to empower and inspire and to elevate other people, by hook or by crook, you can do it, and you will do it. And don't look outside of yourself for validation or approval to do it. It's everything and anything is possible. So that's my message to you. From this came my workshop, 7 Steps to Creating the Greatest Version of You, which is what I'm here to talk about. So I shall move on. The 7 steps to creating the greatest version of you is all about feeling good. I believe when we feel good, or like I said, even better, great, we are perfectly capable of achieving fantastic, not just fantastic, but phenomenal things. A couple of testimonials here. What I love most about the 7 Steps to Creating the Greatest Version of You workshop is just the energy. You know, going from a group of women who don't know each other, by the end of the half-day workshop, everyone is just networking, everyone's talking, everyone's sharing. It's inspiring, and you know, the people who are on the workshop make it just as much as the activities. Awesome. Okay, so here's a couple of testimonials. In this image, the ladies are creating their vision boards. So there's a real practical aspect of this workshop. I'm a very sort of get up and go person, and I find it very difficult to sit and listen to people talk for, you know, hours on end without actually physically doing anything. So it's very, very activity based. So we've got a great experience, lots of warm, friendly women, filled the room with such an amazing energy. I recommend to anyone, I gained some clarity with regards to my current job for my workshop, and have already implemented some of the things, some changes to do with something that I have wanted to do for a while, and I felt that I got the push I needed here. We also practice something called EFT, which is emotional freedom tapping. Obviously, I can't do it online. It's something very practical, and we practice that as a group. It's absolutely fantastic, but that is definitely for another webinar, or when I see you on the workshop. You will definitely find out about that there. Simone's actually absolutely fantastic. She's the lady in the blue top. She got so much from the workshop. She used her 7 steps workbook like a Bible. I still use mine. I know my sister's online as well. She uses hers very, very regularly and has fantastic experiences with it. It's a really, what I want to impress about this workshop, it's not about that half a day, it's about using that workbook and putting into practice what you learn on that workshop and using it and integrating it in your daily life. So she talks about invaluable techniques, provided us with a toolkit to utilize for life. She's been practicing her affirmations on vision boards regularly, and she's feeling so much more positive. Excellent. Simone's actually a great advocate for this workshop. She's the lady who's recommended the most ladies. So if you do recommend ladies to come to the workshop, if you refer 2 friends, you will get a free place. If you refer 1, you can get a half price ticket. Okay, as I said, the second half of the workshop, we actually physically make the vision boards and present them at the end. They talk about how to actually use them, because a lot of people think you just stick images on there and you look at them and that's the end of it. So a bit later on, I'll be going into that in a bit more detail. This lady is called Maeve Crawford. She's an absolutely amazing lady. She's a relationship educator and healer, and she's actually come to every one of my Mr. Wrong book tours and events, launches, and because she has such a soothing, meditative, peaceful voice and energy about her, she reads a forgiveness exercise, meditation I actually have within the book. And she reads that at 7 Steps to Creating the Greatest Version of You workshop as well. And it really just sets the tone. Okay, so that's Maeve Crawford, and she actually wrote a whole blog about 7 Steps to Creating the Greatest Version of You. And actually, she's in the promo. She talks about that being the kickstart to her actually starting her own workshops, relationship breakthrough workshops, which are absolutely fantastic. So if you're single, if you're looking for love, if you've been attracting the wrong sort of person, and really want to find your soulmate this year, this lady really is the person to get in touch with. That's Maeve Crawford. Okay, so why do people struggle to become the greatest version of you? Why do people struggle to achieve their dreams? Why do people struggle to fulfill their desires? Unfulfilled goals. How many of you have dreams and desires that you had as children that you're still yet to achieve? Life seems to get in the way. Another one of my favorite quotes is, "Stay true to thy dreams of thy youth." As we get older, our days seem to become filled with obstacles and things to do and necessities and survive, doing things to survive, paying bills, commitments. What people don't know is, yes, time is priceless, that there's always ways to create time, and we should always make sure that we're creating time for us. Lack of support. The biggest one is lack of self-belief. It's easy to think, oh, I'd really like to achieve this, I'd really like to do that. And sometimes we set ourselves such high goals that it almost becomes impossible to achieve them. And when we already are planting negative seeds in our minds, it becomes more and more difficult to start nurturing and watering those ideas, those dreams. Another one of my favorite quotes, I seem to have a lot of favorite quotes, is, your worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your own unguarded thoughts. That your worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your own unguarded thoughts. I believe that everything starts within. We think thousands and thousands of thoughts a day, and what we feed our mind and what thoughts run through our mind dictates what happens in our reality. So again, your worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your own unguarded thoughts. So on the workshop, we look at the power of our thoughts. We examine our thoughts, we examine our belief systems, and we set intentions to start putting about changing the way that we think and the way that we talk to ourselves. Okay, so solutions. I'll crack straight into 7 steps to creating the greatest version of you. Acronym to remember, which should be in your workbook, is W. W is, what are my values? I'm going to quickly whiz through these and we'll go through each one individually. O stands for own your needs, wants and desires. M stands for manifest my intentions. E, exercise forgiveness. N, nightly gratitude. R, reawaken my vision. And the heart is my favorite, actually. Love, live, it should say, sorry, and laugh. Okay, so if you can turn to your workbooks, the first thing we're going to look at is, what are my values? So values are the core beliefs and principles that you live by, or a personal moral code. I believe that just as the word value, it actually comes from the old French word worth. So just as the word value comes from the word worth, I believe that our values should reflect what we deem to be worthy. Often a lot of mistakes we make is we jump into relationships, or we jump into careers, or we jump into situations without knowing what our values are. So on the other side of this exercise is a table of different values. For example, we have respect, love, humility, contribution, intelligence, intimacy, meaning, learning, pleasure, loyalty, integrity. I want you to think about, pick 10. I know it's tricky because there's lots. Pick 10 that really jump out to you and try and put them in order of importance. You're going to need more than the 4 to 5 minutes that I'm going to give you. But again, you have got this workbook, this mini workbook to do in your own time. So I want you to, if you can't do the 10, just pick 5. What are your core values? And as you're writing them down, I want you to think about why these values are important to you, and where you need and want to experience more of this value in your life, and how you can demonstrate it more as well. So I'm going to give you about 4 to 5 minutes just to really think about your values, writing them down. If some of you are finding this exercise difficult, just let me know in the chat box how you're finding it. Is it easy to pick out your values? Do you know exactly what your values are? Are you struggling to narrow it down to 10? I know it took me a while. Okay, I'm going to give you about 60 seconds now. Okay, brilliant. Again, this is just a taster, so you can carry that on in your own time. And when I see you at the workshop, we're going to have a lot more time to discuss this and write this down. Another really good exercise to do with these values is to not just write them down, but I've created a table. So here's an example here. Somebody, say this is a case study, said that the core value, the number one value is respect. So I believe, again, so what you put out there is what you get back as a reflection of what you're putting out there, 100%. So it's really important to look at, okay, so this is what I want. What am I doing to demonstrate that within me, myself? That's often something we forget. So the question here I've got is, how do I demo this value? This person's written, I show respect to my colleagues and friends by listening to their ideas, views, and opinions. That's fantastic. And then thinking about, if you're lacking this in your life, how are you lacking, how much of that you're giving out? How are you lacking that? So the question is, how can I demo this more? This person's written, I can respect my children more by listening to their feelings. I can also take the time to listen to my partner. What we often forget is there's so many different facets to life. You know, we've got our health, we've got our careers, we've got the money, we've got our romantic relationships, we've got our family. And in order for an equilibrium, in order for the balance, we need to be demonstrating the values through all of these 5 aspects of our lives, I believe. So it's easy to demonstrate this value in one area of our lives. And then someone could be excelling in their career, but then lacking in their family or lacking in, you know, their relationship with their partner. So this person has identified clearly by doing this that they could be showing some more respect in terms of, you know, how they are at home. Another question here is, how can having more of this value make you feel? How does it make you feel? So this person has said that they feel validated, they feel listened to, and they feel accepted. So again, this person's written down some values, how this value has made them feel in terms of other values. So what this exercise gets you to look at is what your core values are, but also how having these core values make you feel. And in turn, once you've identified that, it's almost like a mirror. So you can say to yourself, okay, so if this makes me feel validated, listened to, and accepted, how can I then start making others feel that in other areas of my life? I hope that makes sense. It's a really, really good exercise. It took me a long time to work mine out, actually. I did mine in Costa Coffee in Brixton. I do all the exercises in my book. And my top value is integrity. Integrity is really, really important to me, in terms of doing what you say you'll do, sticking true to who you are, being who you are. And that's with all of us are imperfect people. None of us are perfect. In fact, I don't really know what perfect, I don't think there is such thing as perfect. So it's a case of just embracing yourself for all that you are, the good, the bad, the ugly. Okay, Jordana, you say you haven't received a workbook. I've just seen this. I sent everyone a mini work. It's a PDF, so it's online. I sent it via email. What I can do is I can send that again, but to be honest, everything is on the PowerPoint slides. Everything that you've got in your workbook is in the PowerPoint slides. And if you do come down to the workshop, you'll get a full-on workbook, not a mini workbook, a proper workbook to take home. And there's tons of exercises in there, some of the, all of the ones that you see today, and lots more. Okay, step 2, own my needs, wants, and desires. So again, I'll go back to relationships. Another thing I realized where I was lacking is that I was floating in and out of relationships, not actually thinking I knew who I was, thinking I knew what my needs, wants, and desires were, but actually not really having a clue. And I always believe that if we don't have a strong idea and vision of what our needs, wants, and desires are, we will end up lacking. We will end up sacrificing them for, you know, what the boss wants, what your partner wants, what your family wants. So it's just being really, really clear about who we are and what is important to us. And there's nothing wrong with owning our needs, wants, and desires. Often I feel that we think it's a bad thing to do. It's like, oh, I need this, but I don't want to be selfish. But actually, another quote I saw is that fill your own cup before you attempt to fill others. So make sure that you're satisfied. The more that your needs, wants, and desires are being filled, the more that you can actually give to others. So a need is an essential, I can never say this word, so I'm going to give it a go actually. A need is an essential prerequisite or vital necessity needed in order to survive a situation. So these are your basic things: food, shelter, warmth. In the relationship, for me, it would be trust, honesty, sincerity, and respect. Want is something we would like to have, but we can survive without. For example, I would like a car. I'd want a car, but I'm not going to tell you my driving disasters. I cannot drive. My partner's online actually. He's under the name The King. His name's Dean. He will tell you that I am a danger in any sort of car, real or a racing car or go-kart, anything like that is I should just be well away from. So I can survive without a car because I live in London and there's lots of transport links. So a want is something that we would like to have, but we can live without. A desire is a strong wish or yearning for something, and these are often unvoiced. I'll give you an example, which is in my the actual workbook. I wrote this about a year ago. I said one of my desires would be with a man who would give me foot rubs and, you know, give me back massages. Fantastic, love it. But if I'd previously, before I met my partner, I had said, you know, this is something that I can do without. If I met a man and I absolutely loved him and he absolutely hated feet, I can do without that. But it is a desire and it is something that deserves to be voiced. So what I want you to do is I'm going to give you a few minutes on the next page. It's just to write down some of your needs, wants, and desires. So it can be in any area of your life. It can be what you need in a job. Do you need job security? What do you need in a relationship? Do you need respect? What do you need in terms of your finances? Do you need to be financially free? So this is an exercise you can do in any area of your life. So I'm going to give you just a few minutes. Jordana, I will definitely send you that PDF again, no problem. Okay, we're going to move on now because of time. Hopefully you've got at least one for each one for a need, one for a want, and one for a desire. It's a good idea to keep checking in with your needs, wants, and desires, and take note of where they are or are not being met. Okay, your needs, wants, and desires can also change. That's something to take note of. I've got here, remember that whilst it's great to keep this exercise in a safe place, don't keep them in a safe. Ask for what you need. Equally, like the values exercise, take notes as to where and how you are exercising these needs, wants, and desires yourself. Okay, step 3 is manifesting intentions. I want to speak about the power of your words. All religions speak about the power of your words. Death and life is in the power of the tongue. The words that you speak is energy. Everything that you speak is energy. So when you're putting this energy out there into the universe, what you're doing is you're sending messages out there and attracting back the same vibrational sort of energy back to yourself. So if you're putting out constant negative thoughts or constant negative statements or beliefs about yourself or a particular area of life, that's what you're going to get more of. So a great way to really start monitoring a great way to start attracting good things is, first of all, become aware of your thoughts, become aware of the way that you talk to yourself, and then become aware of the way that you want to start talking to yourself, and then start speaking it into being. It is absolutely abundantly true. You can speak things into being. So here are some of my intentions, and what I do is I actually say them like a mantra. Every single one of them has a rhythm. On the 31st of December 2014, I wrote down 25 intentions. Now, I'm not telling you to write down 25. I was very ambitious and I really wanted to achieve so much at that time, but I have achieved 20 of those. One of them that I haven't achieved is to sit in Oprah Winfrey's seat, but 20 out of 25 of them I have achieved. And they're all aspects of my life, all areas of my life, and I am abundantly grateful and full of gratitude for that. But it's the energy that you put out there, and it's the words that you speak, and it's the belief and the feeling that you put behind the words. What I would suggest to have these intentions written down. I actually recorded mine, so I used to listen to them. I still do, actually, in the mornings and afternoons, and just get that mantra into my head so it actually becomes part of my physical being. So you can sing them, you can rap them, you can do it however you want. It's personal to you. Here are 4 of my favorites. So it's, I attract an abundance of love, peace, harmony, wealth, joy, and happiness. That's like my mantra that I have every single day of my life. I'm full of energy, vibrancy, and good health. This is something I say to myself regularly as well, and I find it's something that raises my energy. If I get out of bed in the morning and I'm feeling exhausted or I'm feeling tired, just saying this a couple of times, more than a couple of times, about 10 times to myself, I can feel already raising my energy. In the workshop, we work on our energy as well through tapping, and that's something that you can fuse with these intentions too. So I'm full of energy, vibrancy, and good health. I'm open to receiving love. And the reason I chose this instead of I am going to fall in love or I am was because I think sometimes we block ourselves from receiving. We block ourselves from receiving love. Like, we're so busy giving out so much that when somebody is blatantly there in front of us showing us love or giving us love, sometimes we find it hard to accept and hard to receive. So my mantra for 2015, was I'm open to receiving love. And I have lots of love in my life now. The 4th one is the world is a beautiful place and I'm exploring it all with excitement. Now, we're living in dark times at the moment. People say, if you read the news, if you watch the news and you flood your mind with all these sort of negative things that are happening, the world will become a more negative place. Yes, there are a lot of, we could say, scary things happening, or scary is not even the word, but there's lots of disasters. There's lots of reports in the news about terrible things that have been going on. But it's equally important to focus on solutions. It's equally to focus on how beautiful and how amazing this world really is, and how we can be part of creating an even more beautiful world. It's easy to look at the things, it's easy to complain about the things that we don't have, it's easy to look at the negative, it's easy to look at things as being hopeless, but it's also so much happier and so much easier and so much lighter to look at how amazing things really are. It's not the world that is the problem, it's the people, it's the people in it, and we can choose to be powerful, divine, amazing, influential people who inspire and empower, or we can choose to be part of the problem. So this is why these four mantras, or sorry, these four intentions are really, really important to me. So again, I'm just going to give you a few moments now. I'm going to be quiet now. I want you to think about a key area in your life and just write down some intentions for yourself. I find that I am a positive way to speak things into being, because it's almost like you're saying, I am already there. And so because you're already there, you're really in touch with the feeling already being there, and it integrates into your system a lot quicker, but whatever feels more comfortable for you. What I will say is, don't write things like I will try to, or I hope to. This is a positive statement, I am. If anyone would like to share any statements that actually could help the rest of the group. So what statements do you think we as a collective could benefit from? What statements, what positive statements could we put out there into the world? In fact, I'm willing to make a bit of a competition out of this. The intention that we believe is the most powerful, I'm happy to offer a free place to the 7 Steps workshop. So please get writing your intentions, positive intentions that we could put out there into the world. Okay, I'm going to give you 30 more seconds. Okay, if you think of an intention sort of 5 minutes down the line or half an hour down the line, you can, it's still valid. You can write it down and we can have a look at it at the end. That'd be fantastic. Okay, step 4 is exercise forgiveness. Now, this is something I feel absolutely passionate about. Quick story for you. Before I tell you the story, what I want you to do again in the chat box is just write down one thing that you've learned so far. One thing that you've learned so far or taken away from this PowerPoint. We're about 3/4 of the way through, so one thing that you've learned. Well, I do workshops with women, and I publish and I coach. I sort of book coach. My full-time job is actually I work at an alternative provision for young girls. It's newly set up. It's called Phoenix Place, and it's for girls who work at they're excluded from mainstream school, or they can't fit in. Mainstream school just doesn't work for them. So I teach English and media. So I always like to sort of come away knowing that you've learned something or imparted some knowledge, that you've actually taken something from this webinar. So if you could just write down one thing that you've learned, that would be fantastic. And again, what I will do is I will check the comments box at the end, and we'll have about 10 minutes where we're able to talk. Okay, I'm looking at some of the intentions here. I can see I will not allow the fog to blind me of my goals. That's amazing. What I would do is to make it even more positive is not to focus on the fog, because when you're saying I will not, you're focusing on the will not and the fog. What you could do to make it even more positive and powerful is that I see clearly, and my vision is clear. My goals are within my reach. My vision is clear. My goals are within my reach. So Sharon, you've got, I need to focus on me more. I lovingly focus on myself. I lovingly focus on myself, my needs. I am deserving of love. Awesome. Okay, fantastic feedback here. I'm going to finish the great idea I started and will not stop. Awesome. I will finish the great idea I started and will not stop. I love it, Curtis. Okay, so I want to move on to forgiveness here, and I'm going to tell you a story. Okay, so this was about 4 years ago now. I had broken up with an ex. It was quite a painful breakup, and I was struggling. I was sitting at the bus stop. I'd had a migraine for days. My neck was killing. My back was hurting. I couldn't think clearly. I had fog in my brain. My energy was stagnated. I was in pain. And I was sat at the bus stop, and I remember I was staring at the same tree that I saw every day for the last 10 months. It's been 10 months since I've broken up with this person. I was staring at this tree, and something said to me, you need to watch your thoughts. It's going to kill you, actually. And I started to watch my thoughts. And I realised that every single thought that went in my head was the same thought I'd had every morning, going round and round and round. And they were so negative and so detrimental and so... self-bashing and berating and damaging. Why am I not good enough? What's wrong with me? How could you have done this? And it's the same thing over and over again. So I decided I was going to ask myself 3 questions. What am I thinking? Does it serve me? How can I make this positive? If the thought didn't serve me, I'd let it go, and I'd replace it with something positive, because I realized that again, going back to that quote, there is no enemy can harm us more than our own unguarded thoughts. And I realized these thoughts went unguarded for 10 months. And so I thought, you know what, all I need to do is live in the present. And that means all I need to do is to get on the bus, go to work, and that's the end of it. I didn't even take in the 1.5 journey every single day that I was taking, because my mind was so clogged up. And so on the way home, something said to me, you need to let this go. And previously I'd done a healing course, and I'd learned the forgiveness meditation, which is actually in Mr. Wrong book. If you've read the Mr. Wrong book, and if you read the forgiveness meditation, just type, yes, I've read it. Fantastic. And so something said to me, you need to go to the park and you need to do this meditation. I was having this dialogue with myself. I was like, I don't want to go to the park. I just want to go home and just go to my bed and just feel like a victim. So I really had to push myself out my comfort zone. And I went to this park and I sat down. Something said, sit by this tree. I sat by the tree, and on each side of me where I sat was one white feather. And for me, white feathers are very, very personal meaning. So I sat down and I just felt peaceful. And I knew that I had to let this person go. So I did this forgiveness meditation and I named every single thing that I felt aggrieved by. You know, I was tired. I'm very good with words, writing words, writing words more so, but I'm very good with words. And I constructed a speech. I'm telling you, the speech was articulate. It was clever. I had wordplay in there. I had metaphors. It was just down to a T. And, you know, I'd had in my head, if I was ever to see him again, this is what I would say. I really wanted to let this go. So I sat down, I did the meditation, and then I was ready to go home. When I went home, I felt exhausted, but I felt lighter. And what I did is I lit a candle and I wrote down all the things that I wanted to let go and how I wanted it to be with this person. You know, would have a great understanding of each other and would look at each other with compassion and would be able to let go and move on. And I wrote this down, no word of a lie. The next day, my phone rings after 10 months. And it was only this person who had called me up and he literally named everything that he was apologetic for, told me how worthy I was, told me how sorry he was. And, you know, those last 10 months, that's all I'd ever wanted because I wanted to say the speech. But I was at the point where all I had to say was, thank you, I appreciate it. You know, I forgive you. It was so simple. And I realized that I'd been walking around poisoning myself with these thoughts, with these, you know, feeling wronged, feeling bitter and feeling resentful. And I'm a strong believer that all physical illnesses are a manifestation of a spiritual or emotional wound or hurt that's gone unattended. And I definitely knew that was my source of my backache and my migraine. So not only does forgiveness set yourself free, but what it does is it sets the other person free to be exactly who they are, because nobody is the same forever. Everyone changes. Doesn't necessarily mean they have to be in your life. So, okay, the question I have to ask you is, are you ready to forgive? What forgiveness also does is it allows room for more positive and more fruitful seeds to grow within. So what I want you to do is to think of somebody who's hurt you, even if it was the bus driver that drove past you yesterday and splashed you in the rain, it doesn't matter. Think of somebody who's hurt you. And when you think of them, just take note, how does it feel in your body? Do your muscles start to tense up? Does your throat become blocked with repressed emotion? Or does your brain start ticking about all the injustices you endured? Now is the time to let go. What do you need to forgive them for? In your workbook, there are 7 things. 7 is my favourite number. 7 things I want you to think about. For the purpose of this webinar, I just want you to think about 1 or 2 things. So think of this person. I want you to write down 2 things that you forgive them for. So an example I've got here is, I forgive you for not being there when I needed you. I believe that people can only give as much as they're able at that given time. So if that person was not able to give you what you needed at that time, or they were not there when you needed them, it's because they weren't able to do that at that time. So I'm just going to give you a few minutes to write down 2 things that you forgive this person for. One thing about forgiveness is that what I've learned is forgiveness doesn't just happen once. Sometimes you have to forgive somebody many, many, many times. especially if that person is a loved one, a sibling, a daughter, a son, a parent. Now, if it's a Mr. Wrong that stands you up and stood you up for 7 days straight, I would certainly have scrapped him after the second time. That's me. You can forgive them, doesn't mean they have to be in your life. Okay, I'm going to let you do the rest in your own time. What I found once I took that step, once you've taken that step, something that I found even more powerful was being able to forgive yourself. Often we focus on the other person and what we need to forgive about them. But one of my favourite quotes, again, I've just realised I've got about 7 favourite quotes, is this one from Sonia Choquette. And that's, forgive and forget all that has hurt you in the past and made you doubt your own lovability. Realise that hurt and disappointment are inevitable parts of our human learning experience. No matter how painful, the real injury was not that someone didn't cherish you, but that you erroneously believed you didn't deserve to be loved. I'm a strong believer, coming from an empowering stance, that nothing happens to you that you don't enable or allow in some way, shape or form. So some of the things that I have written down in terms of forgiving myself for, or examples could be, I forgive myself for not honouring my values and my value. I forgive myself for not seeing my own worth or honouring my own worth. This, to me, was the forgiveness techniques were powerful, but forgiving myself, that that's priceless, absolutely priceless, and it just frees you up with so much more energy. Okay, step 5 is nightly gratitude. Gratitude, I feel, is imperative. It's important because so often we focus on the negative things, just like our thoughts. We're thinking about lack, we're thinking about what we don't have, but we so often forget to think about the amazing things that we do. And when we are grateful for things, when we're grateful for the things in our lives, it just gives so much room for more of those things to come into our life. And it's just about honouring and being blessed for the things that we do. I'm going to let you do this in your own time as well, but if in your mini workbook there's 7 things to write down, the things that you're thankful for. In your actual workbook there's 50, and trust me, you can fill it up. I'm still going. Thinking about, but going back to this person that you've forgiven, a very powerful exercise is to write down things that you thank them for. So even if it's your boss at work who comes in and berates you and puts you down, there is always something you can be thankful for. So it could be, I thank you for fixing my computer, even though you've berated me for the last week. But, you know, I thank you for making me a cup of tea. When you notice great things in people, they will do more of those great things. When the focus is on the positive, I believe there is a beauty, there's a beauty and an ugly side in every person. When we focus on the beauty, you will see and experience more of that beauty. Okay, what I want to do before we move on to step 6 is to write that, to read you what I write. It's a prayer. So I'm just going to read you from, this is my actual workbook here. As long as I can remember, I prayed to God and spoke out loud to the universe. Whenever I am in the depths of despair, I always start with this. There is always something you can start with. Dear God, you can substitute this for universe, creator, source of all things, or whatever you believe to be the blessing behind your existence. I am alive. I am so grateful for my health. I have 2 eyes that work, a nose, a mouth. I have a voice, a body that moves when I want it to, 2 feet that can walk, 2 hands that can feel, a heart, a head, and an array of emotions. My body houses my soul, and my soul is deathless, timeless. This is just an experience, and I show you my utmost gratitude for it. It may be hard, it may be tough, but I'm alive. I thank you for giving me the strength of my ancestors who faced struggles and hardships that, thankfully, I can't even begin to imagine. I am so wondrously in awe of all that they endured, battled and overcame, so that I may stand here today with a voice, a strong mind, a power to exercise my rights. I will never be short of water, food, drink, or shelter. Whatever I may be suffering, thank you that it is only temporary. I'm looking forward to better days and so much more. I'm a strong believer that whatever tragedy we may be facing or setback we may be experiencing, there's always space for gratitude and new things to grow. So that's nightly gratitude. Okay, I want to talk to you about vision boards. So the second half of the workshop, the part that I think the women really enjoy and really come together, is the creation of their own vision. A vision board is a collection of images placed on a board. These are positive things that you want to manifest in your life. What I do with the vision board is I go a step beyond. I use affirmations and the intentions that tie in. So everything is working in synergy. So if one of your intentions is, I'm full of energy, vibrancy, and good health, you want to have images that represent that symbolize that. And you might want to use this affirmation. In fact, I would urge you to use this affirmation. What I really find powerful is to imagine how it feels to have these things. What emotion do they bring? Freedom, happiness, support. Quite often when people do vision boards, they stick images of wedding dresses and partners and people that don't even look like them, first of all, but just images without actually thinking about what those images represent. So when I redid my vision board a while ago, actually about 6 months ago, so I've got lots of images that show unions, that show support, that show love, that show togetherness, that look at love from a spiritual aspect. And what I did is I looked at these images and I really visualized and imagined what it would be like to be in this sort of relationship. How would it make me feel supported, loved, rather than looking at, you know, a woman in the wedding dress. You can go deeper. You're going into the feelings. You're starting to feel and associate these images with how it feels in your body. And then when you bring the words into that, it's ever more powerful. One thing I strongly believe in is if there are no visual images of you in the media, create them. Okay, so here are some images from the workshop. The girl on the right hand side is the lovely Janine Cummings. She is the author of everything. She attended my very first workshop in May. She was publishing a book. I mentioned earlier that I coach women through the publication process. I also publish as well. So she was my very first mentee, and I helped her to visualize the image, her actually publishing her book and getting the book finished. And she came up with the cover for her book, and she stuck it in the middle of her vision board. She imagined how it would feel to actually birth this book and bring it into the ethos, really, bring it into existence. Thought about the feelings behind it, and now she is doing amazing things. Her book's called Everything from Losing His Love to Finding God's Love, and she is a hit on Periscope. She showed me how to use it the day. I really don't get it that much, but any tips would be fantastic. She's amazing, doing really great things, and will continue to do great things and empowering and inspiring many people at the moment. So that's Janine, and that was just in May 2004, before her book came out, and the progress that she's made since then from the workshop is phenomenal. Okay, so this is a picture of myself and my sister. My last webinar, I spoke about how amazing my sister is at manifesting things, but today I'm going to talk about what I've manifested in my life as well. But there's an image of my lovely sister, who also she's a holistic fitness coach and a yoga teacher. She will be doing an hour bonus session at the end of the 7 Steps workshops, where you will be integrating your intentions through movement and breath work. She is phenomenal. So if you do book onto the workshop, please do book onto the yoga session as well. So her vision board, as you can see, she loves traveling, absolutely loves traveling, and is very healthy. She has an image of a retreat that she wanted to go to, which she found in a magazine. So she imagined herself out there. She imagined herself teaching yoga and just being surrounded by mountains and greenery. So you've got the wooden decking and you've got the wooden chairs. On the right hand side, 6 months later, she sends me a picture And that picture is where she found herself in Francesca. I think it's Tuscany. Can you just type in the chat box and just remind us where it is? And as you can see, it is almost identical to the image. There's another image that is of women actually sitting down and doing yoga, and it's with the whole wooden decking, and you can see the chairs there as well. And it was absolutely amazing. So I always had joked and said, how can you manage to manifest things exactly as you want them? Okay, so here's my story. So the Phoenix, the story of the Phoenix. If you read the piece, the Mail Online piece, you will learn that I've actually found my Mr. Right. He's online at the moment. Say hello under the King. His name's actually Dean Williams. On my vision board, I put a phoenix, and the phoenix to me represented a new life, opening my heart to new love, trusting again, rising again from the ashes. And so I looked at this. I was single for a year because I really wanted to take time out to find out who I was and to achieve things in my own right and to find out what exactly I was capable of as me, Daniela Bleckner. And this phoenix was about new love. It was completely about new love. And so I'd look at this phoenix and I'd imagine new love. So that's that picture on the left hand side. I also carried this phoenix in my wallet as well, again representing new love. I'd completely forgotten about this phoenix, and a few months later I kept seeing the word phoenix and images of phoenix, and pubs called Phoenix, and theatres called Phoenix, and companies called Phoenix everywhere. And then I met Dean, and it wasn't until I think about a week later I thought, let me just check his card again. And the image of his symbol for his company, Exclusive Visions, is actually the phoenix. There have been many examples and many things on my vision board that have come to fruition as well in regards to this relationship. But that's just one story that I want to tell you. On the next slide, there's a picture of us. My birthday, well, if you didn't know how old I was, you know now. I'm 36. So that's Dean and myself, and the cake with our image of the phoenix on it, which again represents new love, new life, opening your heart to new things. So that's one of the things that I've manifested on my vision board. So let me tell you, if I can do it, you all can do it. It's all about the energy that you put out there. It's all about being clear about your values, being clear about your vision, being clear about your needs, wants and desires, speaking out your intentions, and being able to find a sort of vibrational match to what you are putting out there as well. And really just imagine the feeling behind the things that you want in life. Dean, if you want to say hello, you can. Okay, so my favorite one is step 7, which is love, live, laugh. Often I find that we take ourselves far too seriously. I see myself as I've always been a bit of I've had a wise head. I've got a wise, what's been had. I definitely have a wise soul, but at my heart, I am a child at heart. My spirit is very young. And I think what keeps us healthy, what keeps us alive, what keeps us looking young and feeling young is just our ability to laugh and see the humour at things. So I just want to end this section with this from the workbook. So this is a 7 steps workbook, not the mini workbook you've got. What I've come to realise is that life really is short. It can be taken away from us without a moment's notice, and suddenly, not getting that job, being cheated on, or that argument with the ex becomes null and void. We think that we have forever and that we are invincible, that our lives and what happens in them is so important. When this is all taken away or threatened, we realise that very few things are important. When I die, I want God to ask me, did you live enough? Did you love enough? Did you allow enough love in? Did you learn to forgive? Did you laugh enough? Did you have fun? For these are the basis of every bit of positivity we create within our lives. Passing a bit of love on to another, even a stranger, can make their day. It can determine whether they take their lives that evening or tell someone they love them. It can determine whether they scream at their employees or bring cookies in to raise morale. We underestimate the power of a smile. So when I talk about all the power that we have is already within, that power can be demonstrated through the smallest of actions. A smile could literally save somebody's life. What we put out there is 100% a reflection of what we put back. On the 7 steps to creating the greatest version of you is all about focusing on our inner power. And as I say in the trailer, it's not about me telling you how to be or how to do, who to be or how to be. There's lots of workshops and books, especially relationship books, which is why I wrote Mr. On, that tell you how to be, tell you what to do, give you a formula of how to act. What I am telling you is to be exactly who you are, to tap into that inner power. My job is to facilitate you comprehending and being able to utilize and use that inner power to manifest the things that you want in your life. Okay, so a quick recap is values. What are you upholding these yourself? What are they, and are you upholding these yourself? Align yourself with people and situations that reflect these values. I want to read this again because I think this is important. Align yourself with people and situations that reflect these values. Read your needs, wants, and desires every morning. Remember to ask for what you need, want, and desire. So often we know what they are, but we keep silent and then we become angry and resentful. So remember to ask for what you need, want, and desire. Vocalize your intentions daily. Imagine the feeling of receiving what you have asked for. Demonstrate nightly gratitude. Forgive those who have hurt you. Forgive yourself. Visualize your intentions. And most importantly, have fun. Okay. Just for you, what I want to do is I'd love to see you on the workshop as a gift from me for staying on to the webinar till the end and for really engaging and taking part. I want to give you a special offer. Okay, so 7 steps to creating the greatest version of you workshop is £37 and it's actually going up to £45 next week. What I want to do is offer you a discounted price of £30. So that's just a 3-hour workshop. If you want to do the bonus yoga, which I would 100% recommend, my sister's online now. If you have any questions to ask her about yoga, please do. That is £37. What I'm going to do is give you a link on the next page. What I also do is I offer a 12-week one-to-one exclusive coaching program. I give you a free 1-hour consultation. These are bespoke and tailored to exactly what it is that you need. So they're not just coaching programs that I just give out. It's tailored to exactly what you need. You're given specific tasks and exercises to complete and email support. Normally that's £397 and for the next 48 hours it's £247. So what I would suggest if you were interested in coaching would be to email me first and we can discuss how we can work from there. As I said, if you book 2 places, you will get, I've got a free lifestyle and holistic fitness call with Francesca Bleckner. I just need to double check with Francesca to see if she's still offering that. What it should read, is if you book 2 places, you get a free place on the workshop. So I apologize for that. So again, special offer is you have discounted prices on the workshop, which will be running on Saturday the 16th and Saturday the 30th of January. On the next slide, I have these links. I'll copy and paste them into the chat box as well, so you have them. These links will be live only up until Wednesday. Oh, there's me. Okay, so you can register now. If you go to tinyurl, that's tinyurl.com/greatestme16j. That's for the 16th of January. The other one is tinyurl.com/greatestme30j. Can I ask the king, please could you just write these URLs down in the chat box? The deadline is Wednesday the 6th, 12 p.m. If you want to email me to speak about a coaching program for yourself, please email me at info@daniellableckner.com. That's info@daniellableckner.com. We have, I'm going to give you some time to write that down. We have 10 minutes left. So in a few minutes, what I'm going to do while you're writing down the link is we'll go over to the chat room and answer any questions that you have. But also be looking at, I haven't forgotten the competition, whose intentions I think will give them a free place on the course. The workshop, sorry. Oh, Tende, you've been Googling working on yachts after watching a Monaco show. Awesome. Get a picture. Put it on your vision board. I want to work and travel on the yacht. Fran, brilliant. And the thing is, I know Francesca will 100% do that. She does everything that what intention she puts out there, she does it. Awesome. Okay, I'm going over to the chat room now. I hope you've written that down. If not, I'm going to be writing it in the chat box. My last slide. Thank you so much for tuning in. Loved speaking and interacting with you. I'm going to come and interact with you more. Ha, 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 Francesca. Awesome. If anyone's got any questions, what I'm going to do is put my website details in, and I'll put the URLs in. What I'd like to do is to ask again, could you just write down one thing that you've got out of the webinar? I hope you have. I'd love to add value. I'm the captain of my love journey. Tendai, I'm loving you. I love it. Portugal, also. Awesome. Okay, so we've got 13 attendees. I'm going to name you by name and say thank you. Please write down one thing that you've learned today or one thing you've got out of the webinar. And again, just go over to those links. I've put them in the chat box now. Get your special offer. I'd love to see you on the 16th and 30th. I haven't told you the times. The times of the workshop on the 16th is 11 o'clock to 3:15 or 2:15 if you don't do yoga. The times on the 30th of January are 1 o'clock and it's slightly later. So 1 o'clock finishing at 3:15 or sorry, 3:15 or 4:15, depending on whether you do yoga. Thank you, Jordana, for joining us. I will send you the PDF. Thank you very much, Simone, for joining us. Thank you, my sister Francesca Bleckner, who's also the yoga teacher. What I will do as well, what I will say as well is do share your details. Feel free to network with each other as well. Fran, please do put your website in the chat box too so people can see how amazing you are. Kerry, hello, thanks for joining us. Mum, if you're with us still, hello. Kim, thank you. Tendai, Sharon, Dean's got your hand up. Curtis, Alyssa Clark, and Jan, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to go back to the chat box now. Okay, in a few minutes, I'm going to Yoga on the yachts, right? Brilliant. In a few minutes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you know who I think I'm going to, well, who I will definitely give a free place to. Brilliant. Help with identifying needs, wants and desires. Excellent. Thank you, everyone. Oh, it's difficult. Just coming to a decision. I've learnt to keep forgiving yourself and others daily. Awesome. I've forgotten to do this. Wow. You must come to the workshop. There's a lot of different techniques. The meditation is absolutely awesome as well. If you come along, there's lots of other forgiveness exercises you can do as well. Don't have to wait on fate and good luck. Yeah, fate, no. What, and that, I'm going to say one of my favourite quotes is, I think I've said that about 8 times, but this is actually my own quote. And if I ever email you, I always end on this, is be the author of your own destiny. Don't rely on fate, or you are, as Tunde says, the captain of your own ship. There's so much in this world for you to explore and discover, and so much power within to manifest and to attract those things into your life, without a doubt. Great comment, Kerry. Francesca, I planted the seed a while ago and had 2 opportunities to come out the blue. Not come to fruition yet, but I believe it will. Being very close. I definitely know it will. Kerry, that is exactly how I started. So monitoring my thoughts. Very powerful. Because when you start to really monitor them, you you really create it. That was a real kick up the bum for me. You really then start to become aware, and when you start to become aware, you can start to create change. Okay, I love Kerry Bartley's I will speak my truth to all, because that's in alignment with my top value, which is integrity. But awesome, phenomenal. The free place is going to go to Tendai, as I just absolutely love. We've got 2. I am the master of my destiny, and I am the captain of my own ship. That is priceless. If you haven't written a quote book or an intention book, definitely should. So I'd like to offer you that free place. If you just get in touch with me, I'm going to put my email address in the box. Get in touch with me and we will work out which day you can attend, the 16th or the 30th. I'd love to see you down there. Kerry, you can never over deliver. There's so much more content in the workshop. Nothing beats actually being in the physical space with other women and doing the practical exercises. But I've loved giving what I've given today. That's what I do. If this is a taster, then think about what the real workshop would be. So Kerry, I'd love to see you on that workshop. Very much enjoyed meeting you at the Les Brown motivational. Yay, Tendai, awesome. I am an expression of love. I draw to me all that is needed to make me happy and my life complete. Awesome. I love that. Tendai, I hope to meet everyone from here. Yes, I hope to meet everyone from there. Brilliant. Okay, I'm going to put these links in again. So this is a special offer, just exclusive to those who have taken part in the webinar today. Just a special thank you. Please do come. It's a great opportunity to meet others, to share your dream, to share your vision. I believe we are 100% tribal creatures, and we thrive as working as a collective, sharing our dreams and our standards with others, sharing our intentions with others. What I also do, which I forgot to say, is once you attend the workshop, you then part of a secret Facebook group where we offer support to others, we network, we just remind each other to keep doing our daily practices. We inspire each other. Oh, Francesca, the workshop is amazing. You will learn so much more. I still work and update my workbook. My sister's awesome. We went on holiday recently and she took the 7 Steps book, and her gratitude journal is just overflowing. Tendai, I hadn't intended to give out a freebie, but it felt right. So it's absolutely my pleasure. Okay, the time is 8:32. The web links again are for the 16th, Saturday the 16th. It's tinyurl.com/greatestme16j. Second is tinyurl.com/greatestme30j. So I hope to see. What I would do is, because I know some people are in America and they've wanted to tune in because they're obviously not able to come to the physical workshop. What I would say is I am going to see you all at the workshop, but to be realistic, I'll say I hope to see most of you at the workshop on either the 16th or the 13th of January. I've been Daniela Bleckner, and my final words are, when I can get it going, I won't try. I'll just say thank you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Awesome. I've just seen your comment. I'm glad you've done some of the exercises in the Mr. Wrong book as well. Brilliant. All right, guys. Thank you very much. I'm going to be stopping the broadcast now. I will send out the broadcast again for you tomorrow, and that will be live for 72 hours. And I hope to see you on the workshop. Take care. Thank you. Bye.